Let's go.
Good evening and hello everyone, and welcome to this wonderful celebration. My name is John, and I am the Vice President of the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra here in Australia. On behalf of the Executive Committee of the Sakya Lozo Chodzong, we acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia, their continuing connection to the land, sea and community. We pay our respects to them and their cultures and to the elders both past and present. We also pay homage to the Triple Gem, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Sakya Chogye Trichen, and His Holiness the 42nd Sakya Trizin. I'd also like to especially welcome and say Tasha Dele to your Holiness Sakya Trizin, Your Eminence, Jhado Tulku Rinpoche, the former abbot of Nangyal Monastery in Dharamsala, and Shri Rana Rinpoche, who are all our speakers at this wonderful celebration. Also, I would like to welcome all the international Sangha, monks of Jumchen School, nuns from Kyabje Chogye Nunnery, monks of Jumchen Monastery studying at Sakya College, Sangha from Kusuma in Nepal, and the Australian Sakya Sangha members who will lead us in numerous prayers in the Guru in various languages. Also, welcome to our audience on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube for making your time and availability to make this a very special celebration. Please, if you can, share this with your friends, family, and loved ones so we can all share this together. Before we start, I'll just mention that we'll be inviting the monks of Jumchen Monastery studying at the Sakya College to do Benedictive prayers in the name of the Triple Gem in Tibetan. This will be followed by the same prayer in Sanskrit sung by nuns from Kyabje Chogye Nunnery, Charang, Mustang. Following this, Lama Chogye Rinpoche, who is our spiritual director, convener and host of this celebration, will facilitate the proceedings. Before we start, I would like to tell you a little bit about Lama Chogye La. He was born in a yak hair tent of a nomad family in the Tibetan plateau in 1954. His family fled their homeland to eventually re-establish in Pokhara, Nepal, where they have remained for the last 50 years. As a novice monk, Lama Chogye was accepted by the great Tibetan master, His Eminence, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, one of the handful of monks helping to establish His Eminence's new seat in exile at the birthplace of the Buddha in Lumbini, Nepal. Rinpoche proved to be a particularly bright student and was close to His Eminence, acting as his personal attendant for 6 years. He completed 12 years of rigorous monastic training under Chogye Trichen's guidance, including a traditional 3.5-year solitary meditation retreat, which was sponsored by His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. Sakya Losar Chodzong, the Tibetan Buddhist Society of Canberra, in Australia, has grown to become one of the most established Tibetan Buddhist centres in Australia, with 2 residential retreat centres and over a dozen sister centres. Most weekends, Rinpoche conducts residential meditation retreats, workshops and public talks at the invitation of Buddhist centres throughout Australia, New Zealand, and more afar. Lama Chogye Rinpoche's profound explanation of meditation and its everyday relevance is renowned for its lucidity, authenticity, and humour. His teachings are offered from the heart and spiced with the richness of his experience, dedication, and resilience. So again, I thank you all for joining this beautiful and momentum celebration. And now I'd like to hand it over to the monks of the Jumchen Monastery to do the Benedictive prayers in the name of the Triple Gem in Tibetan. Dashidale.
Today, Nabuddha and Sakya Chogye Nunnery, Nancy Betcha, the Sanctioning Yoga, and during Rana Rinpoche, Rinpoche, Somo Tezan, and the Trizin, Lama Chogye, Zumbi Sakya Nunnery, Young Madela, and the Senator, Oga Sangwa, and the Government of Hong Kong. Theatre of Rana Rinpoche, during Rinpoche, Chengila, Rinpoche, Puyi. 그바다 너무는 길어 나지고 있나요? 후기 참바다 냉제 대화라 보바 이제 순직 kuma 차비 주되네 얘도 뭐게 포도 얼마나 맞대네 맞아 이제 연계 연구책에 후기 공부하다가 순직 주되 다시 문제 가지 길어는 지레인데 다시 문제 주도 같이
Chogye Lakshmi Daragas Chanapravratavas Trilokanathas Trimanaprahino Buddho Vibhudam Bhujapadranetras Tanmangalam Lokahitam Dadadyam Teno Varishta Pravarasthakambya Khyatastiloke Naradeva Puja Dharmo Tamasantikara Prajanam Tanmangalam Lokahitam Titiyam Sadharma Yukta Shrutimangalaja Sangho Nideva Suradashiniya Rishi Nivasa Pravaro Ganaram Tanmangalam Lokahitam Titiyam Rishi Nivasa Pravaro Ganaram Tanmangalam Lokahitam Tritiyam Rishi Nivasa Pravaro Ganaram Tanmangalam Lokahitam Tritiyam.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. I will do this a bit. I'm not speaking very long. I'm going to do bilingually in Tibetan and English out of respect for our teachers and special guests. Tomar concert Ishinu Chodan, Jamgon Koma Trichen Chodan, Pa Sakya Trizin Shinimba, Jamgo Rana Benza Cho, Number Sumla Kujangundu, Pune, Dire Terin Yamshuki, Sunshi Nangan, Namdan Kenzur Kyabje Jhado Rinpoche Chodan, Biography Mahayogi Shri Rana Rinpoche Cho Namnyedan, Gwende Chozo, Namji Tsomi Nyamshu, Nangme, Tata Semata be Shandon Sungen Sakya Tolop Tishu be Chamchen Lagange Lomnyerwa Namtan, Lekshe Cholenki Tsuma Namla Tukjichi Shugyu Tang, Te Shundu Zoom Tang, Ngodep YouTube channel Sanskrit Tang, Nyamshu Nange Tsangmala Chomba Lekso Tang Tashi Delishu. First of all, let me pay my respect to the traditional owners of the land, to the Triple Gem, to His Holiness Dalai Lama, His Holiness Sakya Trichen Rinpoche, and His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin. I would like to also especially welcome and say Tashi Dele to your Eminence Jhado Rinpoche, the former abbot of Namgyal Monastery in Dharamsala. Right now, Rinpoche is in the USA, and Shri Rana Rinpoche from Kathmandu, Nepal, who are our speakers at this very wonderful celebration. Also, I would like to welcome all the monks of Jamchen Monastery studying Sakya College, and nuns from Lekshya Choling Nani who you just heard them chant. Also, monks from Jamchen School who will be chanting later, and Sangha from Byoma Kusuma in Nepal, and Australian Sakya Sangha members who will also lead us in various prayers to the Guru in various languages, which are interspersed with the speeches. Also, welcome to our large audience on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook for making your time available to make this a very special celebration. Chigetu, Tseme Chentan Tsewe Penga Shin, Yave Temba Sodra Chenjenba, Sume Lama Gewe Shenyen Nam Shea Sungba Tar, Pende Maluban Junga Go Chikpune, Yave Temba Rinpoche Zembe Kiwo Tamba Nam, Kutsu Shukme Tang, Kade Kutsu Shukme Na Yang, Duja Tangzen Je Nam, Dripani Le Drobe Chedu Reshi Shiva Nyangelen Debe Tsu Temba Ne, Jikdenbe Chunires. The only cause of happiness and lasting benefit to all sentient beings is the teachings of the incomparable Lord Buddha. And this depends, however, on the existence of spiritual masters, mentors, who possess immeasurable wisdom, compassion, goodness, and who hold the doctrine dearer than their own lives. Whether the teachings exist or not depends entirely upon the life of the great beings and the longevity of the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Even if the great masters passes away into Mahaparinirvana, knowing all things are impermanent, in itself is a teaching to the deluded followers who cling to things as if they were permanent, who need to be liberated from the obscurations. Tiang devreshik ban nam ji kusung do yonten tile dan jeben zeba labo che kyang ba nam la shula tenden loma nam jenge ge temba manyam ba tang sunam ji zo ya shimbo so be le do lama tamba nam lama tambe londa che dang ne she sung ba dar gonzo tu zhen sung zhe xu be lu so sang bo ye ban di xin ban go pa ba lu zhi ji xi ding na sung be ji zhen chu kyang di tu ba yin las. But after their passing away, there is a great legacy that their enlightened activities of skillful action, wise words, boundless thoughts, and qualities are, as it is said, quote, while counting the days, weeks, months, years, remembering our masters, since the passing of the Guru, there is a good tradition to commemorate the anniversary of eminent masters in order that the survivor devotees do not forget the master and his teachings, also that they have the opportunity to accumulate a vast amount of merit. Celebration of anniversary is also constitutes the sixth recollection, as Nagarjuna mentioned in his letter to a friend. Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche cho Tomar Kuye Tsempa Sardo Hene Kiwo Tambe Yonde Yugu Tada Kyane Tara Gonglo Gyaju Kyabdun La Pebga Sugu Koba Yingsu Temne Tering Rabjun Chudunbe Pe Gyalo Yedon Chigye Shivju Kyabje Rabne Jalan Le Gyal Dewe Tseba Hidang Chilo Nidon Nishu Zanyi Dawa Nibe Tse Hi Reza Bazan La Kewa Kewe Gonzo Tujen Teng Jonga Bate De ngome chahi darna tujen de sungzi gya chezam shi chichar yang milo nyingi renge nayam di deshin nyingme guso tume nge bari yuring bu yuntu par song sambatar kodri shutu ma song. Ever since Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche manifested and blossomed as a lotus in the world 102 years ago, he carried out the ninefold noble activities of a great being. On the 4th of the 12th lunar month, some 15 years ago, when he was 87 years old, Kyabje Rinpoche demonstrated passing into pure light. Today, Friday, the 4th February 2022, marks exactly 15 years from that sacred day that many devotees in Kathmandu witnessed. We hoped to celebrate the 15th anniversary in a special way, but the pandemic has not permitted to do so. Ina dalam talam to saje madon zamji tuje sungje shuju tradi shubatar dine chitar sowa tabduen shin pa saje kyamgo dati tinzi shenyi ba radna benza rinpoche chodang lapsum tembe nangje namjan kensu kyabje Jhado Rinpoche namnye tang Shri dara Rana Rinpoche nam sumye gombo kange sawa sumye zeba Jhedin yi sungzhi samore nangyu kar yayon lombang dude kashine sondeptan shijo dosol che namang keri to kerdun nyamshu nangyu taten zerim dishin chodri shutuba chungwa samara tukji che shujuyin. So we had no choice but to host it as an online celebration of this anniversary. But due to the immeasurable kindness of His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin, Radnavaja Rinpoche, His Eminence Jhado Rinpoche, Tulku Rinpoche, and Shri Rana Rinpoche, who all have kindly agreed to speak on the three adamantine qualities of Kyabje Rinpoche at this celebration of this anniversary, this has become that much a bigger event than we had anticipated. We have also managed to get kind assistance and cooperation from a number of international Sangha, who you already heard some participate in the prayers, and others also will contribute multilingual supplication prayers to assist us with this celebration. I would like to thank everyone for their cooperation. 대한 Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche chone gansa nyungshe shik tsam mayinba bögi chugye yonsu zobe tebadang yiche shuyugi lameya lama komeya lama koma jino gongsa kyamgwe chenpo choge sunga lamze gitsube wanlo menga mangbo shuse pujunge tsawe lama yinba mase kyamgwe trichen koma chola gyude kundu gitsube wanlo menga lamze lopshi dangcheba pulwa mase riso machebe chugye pachebe uti namgi tsukde tense samgi mekyabe lama yinba lojuna ngunjo lama tamba sonam gyanzen cho je zong kabadang longchen ramjan baso geje mangbo tsukde tenbadang iso machi bar song Devrashikba choge namtargi tsenjang la lameya lama she goyo ba tedarla Dermase ku rangla yang pongwa sirsiki kunder tengsum pebde jungdu shige wandaki jensek nane tayo sakya losa chozong rondon lobnyer kang sarchen choling je chozo malatan je ba yoban diang Devrashikba tinigi tukje kunele jungwa yimbar kor machas Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was not just a mere Rinpoche with few followers. He was the one from whom even His Holiness Dalai Lama, who is the sole objects of refuge of all the superior and all the superior of superior masters, of all Tibetan Buddhist masters, revered him as his guru and received teachings, empowerments, and transmissions of Lamdre Lopche. Kyabje Rinpoche is also the teacher of His Holiness the 41st Sakya Trizin and all the Sakya masters, from whom most of them have received collection of tantra teachings, major empowerments, and transmissions. He is also teacher to the heads of most and senior traditions of lineage holders of Tibetan Buddhism. Due to these reasons, historically, only Lama Tamba Sonam Gyaltsen in the past enjoys such an honor to become teacher of most teacher of his day, like Je Tsongkhapa, Longchen Ramjampa, and many others. This is why recently published biography of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche is entitled Lama of Lamas by David Jackson. My own spiritual father my own ability to have His Eminence as a spiritual father, also visited here in Australia 3 times, consecrated all the centers here, including Sakya Losal Chodong, Rongtong Buddhist College, Virupa Retreat Center, Siba Tsarchen Cholin. Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche made great effort to perform 4-fold Vajrapani fire puja when he first came, made firm prayers for the firm establishment of these centers we have today. Deringe zerimdi kenam nyamshu chebandi durab nyerjikdan tumbe lamen nenjo yembar gone rangi lune namnan chududan debe jiwar ngo rangi tsawe lama yembala namba gyapsun dube ngo sangye dorji changomne tuk yengwa dan jingwa la soba mayimba devreshikbe sangwa sumye yondendan dangdu yichi ki ngang jejen sonde molam doso sungab lamen nenjo ji tsudu Dujan sungwa la tenne tsawe lama namji kutse rinshin tuki hedon tada rubadang daja namji diji nida gewe samdun drubi chushidun drubi mundun je chamje shuins. I suggest all of you in the audience to participate in this celebration as a Guru Yoga according to the 21st century. Now sit back in correct 7-point meditation posture while listening and watching this presentation. Visualize on top of your head your Guru in the form of Vajradhara, embodiment of objects of refuge, without any distractions and dullness. While feeling a lucid, aspirational, and unflagging faith in the holy qualities and enlightened activities of holy masters, noble deeds, wise words, and kind thoughts, by the merit of convening this celebration, may our root Guru live long, fulfill noble wishes. May all those who have participated be blessed to have wholesome things to become realized in accordance with holy Dharma. So with this now, I would like to turn to our main speaker, His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin, who will give a very detailed biographical eulogy. And therefore you will be, some of you may not have met His Eminence, others you have met and seen, but to refresh our memory of what a great living master he was. So thank you, Your Holiness.
First of all, I would like to say Tashin Dalek to all of you, especially to Lama Chadak. Actually, I was asked by Lama Chadak and Sakya Losu Chedong to say something about our great Guru Vajradhara Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, because now after a few days we are having the 15th anniversary of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So I will explain his short biography based on late Kyabje Rinpoche's biography on Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was born in a great family. His father is from the Western Jhado, a very holy lineage, very special lineage. And in this lineage, there have been many great scholars and masters, including Trizin, Shri, Gyalbo, Losel Gyatso, etc. And also in this lineage, there are many great leaders, holy leaders. And also in this lineage, there are many great daughters. One of the daughters was Dogen Chegyal Papa's sister-in-law, and she was the mother of one of the Kön lineage master called Dhamma Palarakita. And also one of the daughter is also the mother of Lama Tambosanam Johnson, etc. So this family has produced many great scholars, many great leaders, and also many great Dakinis. And his mother, so his father is called Sonam Sengye Wangchuk, and his mother is called Chimye Dolkar. So his mother's family also has produced many great masters, and also especially like Tarti Penchen, Namkapal Sang, and other great masters. So both father and mother's family are very special families. And Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was born in their family in 1920, in the year of Iron Monkey Year, on 4th day of the 8th lunar month, with many auspicious signs or many extraordinary signs. And then his uncle Kangsa Khenpo Jambal Nyingpo gave him the name called Gunsang Chime Wangpo. And then from young age, he studied reading, writing from his father as well as from his elder brother, Tate Namka Gunsang. And then later he received the Upasaka vow from Tate Khenche Jamyang Gunsang Tenpe Gyaltsen. And then later, when he was a bit older, in 1929, the 13th Dalai Lama recognized him, or 13th Dalai Lama gave him letter, and due to this he went to Pembo, Nalanda, and at the age of 12 he was enthroned there in the Nalanda monastery on the throne of Rongden Chenpo. And then at the age of 22 he met the great master Kangsa Khenchen Diwajadara Ngon Lode Champion Nyingpo, from whom he received the fully ordained monk's vow. And since then he kept the Patimoksha vow, or he kept the Bhikshu vow, without any stain. And then he also received Bodhicitta vow. Since then he always helped others, and he always keep the wishing and engaging bodhicitta intact all the time, day and night, and always help others, always do bodhisattva's way of life. And then also after receiving many empowerments through these, then he received the Mantrayana vow. Since then he keep all the samayas and Mantrayana vows intact without having any stains, or without breaking any of the samayas, even the minor samayas. So in short, he kept the Patimoksha vow, Bodhicitta vow, and Mantrayana vow all intact, and making his gurus and others pleased. And also for the eyes of common people, he learned many subjects through many great masters, like from Rana Rinpoche and other masters. He received or he studied the Tibetan grammars, and also like Sakya Lekshe, Bodhisattva Avatara, Abhidhamma Kosha, and Domsum Jalam and Gongin, which is a text on triple vow, and then also like Madhyamika Avatara, and Samaya Alankara, and also like in the Mantrayana he received precious Lamde, common and uncommon, or Tsokshe and Lobshe, and other such as Marching Gambum, oral transmission, and also many teachings or initiations on Dharma protectors, and also many others from Rana Rinpoche, and from Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, and also mainly from Khenchen Ngawla Rinpoche Nyingpa, from whom he received the collection of tantra, which has more than 315 major empowerments. So that takes a long time. And also from His Holiness the 41st Koma Trichen Rinpoche's father, Gyamgang Kungka Rinchen, he received Havajra course, path, empowerment, and three deities initiation. And from His Holiness the 41st Koma Trichen Rinpoche's uncle, Koma Kungka Gyalten, from him he received Vajikilaya, upper action empowerment and lower action initiation, and others. And also he received teachings from Kansa Jambal Nyingpo, and also Hachun Rinpoche, and also from Jamken Khyentse Chökyi Lodre and others. So from all these masters he received ocean of teachings, in short, and became the treasurer of all the sutra and tantra and pit instructions. And not only he received all this, but he have mastered on all these subjects, all these topics, through teaching, debate, and compose. And also he has done many retreats, so many retreats, and even he is not doing retreat, he always do very long practice every day, which is something that is not easy to follow by ordinary person like us. Even for normal daily practice, Chogye Trichen takes hours and hours. We can say, when he finished today's practice or today's daily practice, then right after that it's almost time to start his next day's daily practice. So it's like non-stop practice. So he is a very, very great practitioner, not only great master, great scholar, but also a very great practitioner, a very highly realized master or real Vajradhara in the form of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. And when he was young, in Tibet itself, he turned the wheel of Dharma, far and wide, by giving Lamde Chokshe, Lamde Lobshe, and also giving teaching on Madhumika Avatara, and giving Kala Chakra empowerment, major empowerment, few times, and also giving many other great or major empowerments, and also giving Vajrayogini blessing and teachings many times, etc. in Tibet itself before 1959. And also in Tibet, not only he turned the wheel of Dharma, but also he renovated the monastery, and also he have started new new curriculum on Havajra in the Tantric College, and also he has made or he sponsored, or he made many statues with precious jewel. Out of precious jewels, he made many statues altogether, like 70 statues with proper consecrations. And also he has made many tankas, and also cloth tankas, and also the whole mandala of the collection of tantra, which is not few in number. It has hundreds of mandalas. So he made all these mandalas new, and also he has printed Dharma books, more than 100 volumes. Actually, printing more than 100 volumes nowadays, and printing more than 100 volumes at that time, although the number of volumes is same, but it is much more difficult to print at that time than nowadays. Nowadays, with advanced technology, we can print easily, but at that time, without the modern technology, it is much more difficult. But still, he has printed more than 100 volumes of text in Tibet itself. And then in 1959, he first came to Nepal through Mustang, and he has visited Mustang many times in his life, and also stayed there very long time. And we can say in 1960s, 70s, he was the pillar of Mustang Buddha Dharma. He is the life force of Mustang Buddha Dharma. For example, in 1961, he gave Lamde teaching in Lamde Lopche in Mustang, and then later he also gave another Lamde teaching there, and also he has given many novice vow and bhikshu vows to the monks in Mustang, and he started many Vinaya rituals there in Mustang, and also started many annual pujas like Hevajra annual puja and other pujas, and gave many other empowerments and teachings, including Vajrayogini, 70 teaching, etc., and also many others. So, especially in 1960s and 70s, as I said before, he is the life force, or he is like sunshine that illuminates the darkness and place them on the light of wisdom or light of Dharma in the Mustang kingdom. So he has benefited monks and nuns, and also the lay people in the region. So he has been the main Dharma holder at that time in Mustang in 1960s and 70s. And later also, he has played a great role in Mustang, preserving Dharma in Mustang. And in India, he also visited many times and also stayed long time. And he has received many teachings, like from His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and other masters. And also from our root guru, His Holiness the 41st Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, he has received Lamde Lobshe, which I remember vaguely. That was my first Lamde too in 1981, late 18 and early 81. His Holiness gave Lamde teaching in Purwala, and at that time Lama Chhada was there. I was there as a naughty boy. So at that time His Holiness gave Lamde teaching, and Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was also there. And also Chogye Trichen Rinpoche received many other teachings from Holiness. And also in Nepal, and also, in 1971, His Holiness requested Chogye Trichen Rinpoche to bestow the collection of tantra for the auspicious beginning. His Holiness requested, and then the first of the empowerment was given in Lumbini, the holy place Lumbini, where Buddha Shakyam, where Prince Siddhartha was born. And so he first gave the empowerment, Buddha empowerment, Tubatam Tsumke empowerment in Lumbini, and then later in 1972 and 73, for 2 long summer, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche gave the collection of tantra empowerments in Rajpur Sakya Center, requested by His Holiness. So we can say at the moment now we have the unbroken lineage of collection of tantra in India, in Tibet, all due to Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's blessing and Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's giving the collection of tantra. If Chogye Trichen Rinpoche have not given the empowerments, then at the moment there will be no collection of tantra. So all due to Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, His Holiness was able to receive, and then Holiness able to give this empowerment, and now this empowerment lineage is in Tibet and in India. So he played many, many great roles, and this is one of the main roles that he played in preserving the precious and profound teaching of Dharma. Actually, collection of tantra is not only the empowerments and teaching of Sakya tradition, it also has Kyabje tradition and Gelugpa tradition in this collection of tantra, and also some Nyingma tradition. So it has all the tradition of 4 schools of Tibetan Buddhism. And he spent most of his remaining life, or most of his exile life, I can say, in Nepal. He has unshakable and strong and stable wish to preserve the Sarva tradition, which is one of the sub-school of Sakya tradition, as you all know. So in 1969, he started to build Tashi Rabdenling or Rabdenling monastery, tertiary obtaining monastery in Lumbini. And there he made this temple, monastery with statues, etc., and have monks there. And then he also started the 3-year retreat there. So many monks from different Sakya monasteries went there to do the 3-year retreat under the great guidance of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, and Chogye Trichen himself have given many pit instructions. And one of them is Lama Chota at that time, so he was one of the retreatants who did the 3-year retreat under the direct guidance and blessings of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. And then later, he also started the 2nd and 3rd 3-year retreat in Bodha. In Chamjan Lagang. And in India, his Chogye Trichen also gave Lamde Lobshe teaching to His Holiness in 1982. So in 1881, he received from Holiness. In 82, Chogye Trichen gave the Lamde Lobshe teaching to His Holiness. And then in 1985, in Dharamsala, Chogye Trichen gave the precious and profound Lamde Lobshe to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. And also he gave many other empowerments, including Dharma Protector initiations and others to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. And in 1980s, when I was young, His Holiness and we were in Lumbini, and at that time Chogye Trichen was giving the collection of sadhana in Lumbini itself. And in 1983, he started to build, the Chamjan Lagang in Bodha. And in 1985, His Holiness inaugurated this. I was also there as a young child. His Holiness did the Vajrakilaya 3-day consecration puja and others. And then also later in Chamjan Lagang, as requested by Kyabje Rinpoche and Lama Sepa Rinpoche from Gelupa tradition, Lama Sepa Rinpoche from the FPMT, Chogye Trichen gave 1 Gyon Norpi Tangwa Gelupa collection of empowerment called 1 Gyon Norpi Tangwa in Chamjan Lagang. He started these empowerments. And also, in general, in exile also, Chogye Trichen gave Kala Chakra and many other teachings, empowerments, pit instructions to many, many fortunate disciples in India, in Nepal, and also in many overseas countries, like including Australia and New Zealand. His Holiness Chogye Trichen Rinpoche have visited many of Lama Chodak's center in Australia and also to New Zealand, and also visited many other centers in Southeast Asian countries and also in Europe and also in North America. And also Chogye Trichen took the main responsibility to start the Sakya Melon. The first Sakya Melon, or the Sakya Melon in general, was started because Chogye Trichen took great responsibility, and also at that time His Holiness the Chogye Trichen Rinpoche and Vajradhara Lodin Khenchen Rinpoche and others also participated, and also actually all the Sakya Lamas, Tulkus, Khenpos, monks and nuns participated. So since then we have been doing the Sakya Melon every year. Last 2 years we are doing through online, but anyway we are doing every year. And he has many great disciples. We can say all the Sakya masters, all the high Sakya masters are all disciples of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. Like His Holiness the 41st Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, Vajradhara Lodin Khenchen Rinpoche, and Lodin Khen Rinpoche, and also all the Dongsen Rinpoches and Trizin Rinpoche, and the present 26th and 27th Chogye Trichen Rinpoche and Konga Dorje Denpa Rinpoche, and many others. All the Sakya high masters, high lamas, and many monks and nuns are disciples of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. And also, not only in the Sakya tradition, but in overall, in general, in his disciples, there are like His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, and also many other high lamas from Kyabje, Nyingma, and Gelugpa traditions. So he has an ocean of disciples. And he also has composed many texts. And normally, during his daily life, he, as I said before, he do so many practices. Early, like morning practice and afternoon practice or evening practice. Actually, it's like a non-stop practice. Every day he do like Guru Yoga, outer and inner Guru Yoga, and also he do Havaja Sadhana, not only one time but more than that every day, and also Vajrayogini Sadhana and Mahakala long sadhana, actually Mahakala sadhana more than one time every day, and also Vaitara, Vajra Panibuddha Dhamara, and Hayagirva, Vajra Bharva, Kala Chakra, and many others. So he has been doing the practice like a non-stop. And when he was not busy, then he even do 4 sessions of practice. This is not in the retreat. Even he is not doing a retreat, he do 4 sessions of practice. For us, even in retreat, it is difficult to do 4 sessions. But for Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, not only in the retreat, but in the post-retreat time, you still do 4 sessions of practice every day. As I said before, when he finished today's sadhana, it's almost time to start the next day's sadhana, so it's non-stop practice. This shows how great he is. It also shows how much effort that we need to put on our practice. Actually, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche himself is a great Vajradhara. No need to practice so many deities for himself, but I think this is to show example for us to have more effort, or it is for us to generate great inspiration and follow his footsteps. So it is not possible for me to say all his activities, because his noble activities are limitless, which I cannot fathom, because it is beyond my thoughts or my understanding. It is not possible for me to say all his noble activities. So I just said some of his great activities. Then in 2007, in order to generate the understanding of impermanence in the mental continuum of followers or disciples, he showed that he is sick, and then later on the 4th day of the 12th lunar month in 2007, he entered into the Mahabodhi Nirvana, and after that he stayed in a meditational state, not only for a few days or 1 week or so, but he stayed for 16 days. And what happened is, when he was in the meditational state, his mind is still there. His mind is not separated from his body. Although he entered into the Mahabodhi Nirvana, still his mind, his wisdom is not separated from his holy body. It's still there, it's still in the meditational state. So this means this is a sign of realizing the great understanding of, or realizing the ultimate view, or having the great realization on ultimate view. So for 16 long days, his face is just like a living being, and there's no bad smell at all, even though they have not done anything to smell good. They didn't do anything like that, no artificial things. Naturally, his body doesn't have any smell, any bad smell for 16 long days. So this is one of his sign that shows that he is not an ordinary being. He is really a great master, highly realized master, a noble master, noble being. And then right after that, his holy body was not cremated. First, actually he entered into the Mahabodhi Nirvana in the retreat center called Nyingyi Samden Cheling, which is about 40-50 minutes drive from Jamjang. Chogye Trichen has retreat center called Nyingyi Samden Cheling. So he entered into the Mahabodhi Nirvana in this retreat center. And then when his holy body was brought to Chamjan Laka. On that day, there were many amazing signs. If I remember correctly, I think there was snowfall, special snowfall, like flower or like that, which everybody can see. So these are the signs of extraordinary master. And then later his body, holy body, was kept in Chamjalagang at least for several weeks, and then in the auspicious day, I think on the 15th day of the first lunar month. Normally, first lunar month we call miracle month, because this month was the month that Buddha showed many miracles, so we call miracle month. So it's a very special month, holy month. So on the 15th day of the holy month, I think, his body was cremated, and at that time there are 4 fire pujas from 4 directions. On the eastern direction, His Holiness did the water master with other monks and perform, and also other great masters and monks. He performed Vajrasattva fire puja. Actually, at that time, Tongsa Abhikita Vajra Rinpoche and Tulku Rinpoche were also there in the puja. Then from the southern direction, Lutin Khenchen Rinpoche, Vajradhara Lutin Khenchen Rinpoche did the Vajra master and performed Vajrayogini fire puja with Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's sister, Jituma, and other Tulku and monks. And then from the western direction, Lutin Khen Rinpoche or Lutin Khen Rinpoche Jr. did the Vajra master and performed the Mahavyarochana fire puja with present 26 and 27 Chogye Trichen Rinpoche and other Tulkus and monks. And from northern side, myself did Vajra master and performed Vajra fire puja with Tazikyan Rinpoche and Kansa Chebra Rinpoche and other monks. So on that day, the sky was very clear, and it is said that this is a sign of seeing the truth, seeing the ultimate view by Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. And also there are other signs. And then later there were many relics, and later they also gave many relics in the form of small statues and other forms to faithful disciples, and also made stupas. There's one stupa in Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's room in Chamjamlaka, and also another one outside in Chamjamlaka. And then the big one was built, and it was inaugurated in early 2019, like 3 years ago. So anyway, in short, I just try to explain a little bit of Great Vajra Master, Great Vajradhara, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's biography, and now I will conclude my short explanation or talk, and at the end I sincerely wish that we all can follow his footsteps and receive his blessings to his teachings, blessings, and to his guidance. And with this, I will conclude my talk, and we should dedicate all our merits to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all the sentient beings, and especially we should dedicate all our merits for our root gurus, long life, good health, and done the will of Dharma far and wide, always. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness. So we have been graced with the very detailed biography of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's extensive Dharma activities, touching many souls and spirits across the globe, from the ordinary people, from the highest spiritual masters. What a great being he truly was. So let's do a short reflection as we have Australians Sakya Sangha members will do a short few minutes of chanting, praying to the Guru, visualizing the Guru on top of our head for a few minutes. So over to you, Ben, and we have Ben, Ray, if I can remember, Jackie and Ruby and Tracy and whoever, they will do a short prayer to the Guru. So please, you can follow them because they'll be chanting in only one verse bilingually in Tibetan and English. Can you unmute yourselves?
Thank you, Rinpoche. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all here together at Manjushri Buddhist Centre. And for those of you who don't know, Manjushri Buddhist Centre is on the south coast of New South Wales, and we're down with the ocean and the mountains behind us. A very beautiful spot. We've been very blessed to have His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin come to our centre, and Australia has received so many visits from so many masters, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, and of course His Eminence Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. I was reflecting in the last 10 years of his life, he came to Australia 3 times, and on his final visit he was in a small aeroplane and flew into a remote retreat centre called Siba, and blessed the place, blessed everyone, gave empowerments. And I remember had the opportunity to meet His Eminence there and had an audience, and I was very nervous. I was waiting at his door. I felt sort of intimidated to be in the presence of such a great master. And I was there with my wife and my 6-month-old baby, and so nervous. And the moment we went into the room, it's just all dispelled. He's just so much love, and I just felt so shocked at how gentle and so much love and kindness. And he's so interested in my daughter, and I just thought to myself, well, if that's the result of doing so much practice, I'm definitely on the right path. So yeah, I thank Rinpoche for that opportunity to meet his teacher. And yeah, it was amazing just hearing his biography. So we feel very honoured and proud to be able to be together as a Sangha. And on behalf of everyone, we're going to chant this prayer. And we really want to dedicate it to the long life, good health of our teachers, because we need our teachers so dearly. So we request you to stay long in this world. And as we recite this prayer, we invite everyone to, like Rinpoche said, go into that space of the Guru Yoga and think of His Eminence and all your masters as we chant. So we're going to chant first in English, and then we're going to chant Tibetan, and then again in English. We just chant slow. You ready? Precious Guru, I pray to you, great Lord, hold on. Look up on me, kindly and bless me in this life, the next and in between. Amen. Kundula Rinpoche, Trichen Chogye Trichen Nyame Adinchen Intertwined Deche Jhado Kuntu Jingelo Precious Guru, refuge in one, I pray to you, great Lord, hold on. Look up on me, kindly and bless me in this life, the next and in between. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Great privilege to introduce briefly, because met His Eminence Jhado Tulku Rinpoche, so therefore it's a very auspicious beginning to make this connection with Jhado Tulku Rinpoche. He actually visited Australia a couple of years ago, and we had the opportunity to briefly have him at the center once. But now we have a totally different, bigger audience today. So I would like to say short introduction to Jhado Tulku Rinpoche. His Eminence Jhado Tulku Rinpoche was born in Tibet near a very big lake called Namtso, which is very, we are actually from the same region, so we have a very strong karmic connection, not only same guru, but also the same birthplace. And Rinpoche, as a young boy, escaped from Tibet with His Eminence Chogye Trichen Rinpoche on all the way from Tibet through that route, and then through Mustang. And as a young Tulku, he was ordained in India, and later on received full ordination from His Holiness Dalai Lama's senior tutor Ling Rinpoche. And then Jhado Tulku Rinpoche took a great stride in studying full-time in Sera Monastery in South India from 1972 till 1990, after which he received the most honored Geshe Larampa degree in the Gelugpa tradition. Rinpoche was a very bright student, very studious, very disciplined. I have met his manager, who spoke most amazing accent from my hometown. He used to tell how hard Jhado Rinpoche worked and studied and became this very great luminary, one most outstanding Gelugpa master trained in exile. He soon was caught the sight of His Holiness Dalai Lama was called upon his services in Namgyal Monastery. Later on, he was appointed as abbot of Namgyal Monastery, that's private monastery of His Holiness Dalai Lama, in 1997, and he served there until 2004. And Jhado Rinpoche has been a great, not only scholar in the Gelugpa tradition, but also he had followed His Holiness Dalai Lama's noble example of receiving teaching from many other teachers of other Tibetan tradition, like Tushik Rinpoche from Nyingmapa, and then His Eminence Chogye Trichen Rinpoche in Sakya. So Jhado Rinpoche has been advocating the teachings of all Tibetan Buddhist traditions, and he travels across the world. He's in high demand. He's right now in the middle of a big tour in America. You just imagine what hour of the morning it is, but yet he has kindly agreed to grace us on this very auspicious occasion. Hopefully we will be able to have Jhado in person here one day in Australia, but this time we have him on this very auspicious occasion. So Jhado Rinpoche knows English, but he would be actually speaking in Tibetan. And then, since I'm not confident that the simultaneous translation will work because of echoing business, so I will do the translation. So over to you, Jhado Rinpoche. Thank you for gracing us.
Tatale Jhado Pebe Motinzirmuche Ube in Tanda Sakya Rose Chozongi and Camberelli Chozo Kichombe in Namatsu Ushu and then Namachudala Tamalo Tale Chogye Trichen and Gonzo Tuje Ting Jongba in Dilichi to Koditelia now Kokab Namate Mise Tuji Che Shui.
Firstly, with great respect to Your Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin and all the leaders and members and the executive committee of Sakya Losar Chozong and associated sister centers, all the members, viewers on all the platforms. It's a great opportunity that you have given me to able to participate in the 15th anniversary of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche online. So I'm very grateful and many greetings to you all.
Jida Jingo Yatsui Kada and Chogye Trichen Doji Changi, the good number Yeshi Gabachi, Tanda, Komotinzir Muchigi, Inge Tol Sung Sung, Samanyan Tuso, the Telhaji, Mapeji Shuaske, which is Mindu, Minaya, Marangi, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, She Mus Tingmo Wuje, Mus Tebegi, and Jigda, Mareki Chabachi, and Tanzan, Nisum Chobachis.
Today you had an excellent opportunity to hear the detailed biography of the great all-pervasive sovereign master of all the mandala, Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, from His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin in great detail. It almost looks like there is very little left for me to add on to that biography. But nevertheless, I have had some extraordinary opportunity to spend time in person in the presence of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So I have had opportunity to hear and listen and bear in mind what he has to teach. So I have quite a few, maybe a couple of points that comes very clearly in my memory that might be worthy of sharing to you in order to resuscitate your devotional faith in such a celebrated guru.
Yongwe Jawa Yishin Nebu, the Pyo Kanjen Jungi, Chugyu Chimbu, Shidang, Yungrung Pyo Tanjeba, and Ji 당시 공부 찌기 펜수 찌기야 구셔요 봐 주구요 봐 냠셰요 봐 어떤 데지 야양 간나 내시 있는 거 한치 Chogye Trichen Rinpoche Rinpoche cha chombe ina peji jiru chidong gu ju re sum re ane kap ti du ngaya ye ini yige yongzi ling trichen doji chang kundu ne jigje gi wang dang chi sem re
So we are all very familiar with the all seeing His Holiness, the wish-fulfilling gem, Dalai Lama, who has amazing vision that how all the four great Tibetan traditions, including Pon tradition, should work together harmoniously like mixing of the water and the milk together, that you could not distinguish whether which is milk and which is water. Like that, His Holiness has taught this so importantly, how we should work together by mutual respect. And so Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, of course, I think I remember clearly in 1963 in Dharamsala, that where I was also able to attend, was that His Holiness's senior tutor Ling Rinpoche gave a Yamantaka empowerment. And at that time, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche received, and we were both there to receive that same empowerment.
In Jelia, Rinpoche she jeje, and kap ti du, and yongzi ling trichen do chang kundu ne, and jigje kawan sembe kabliya, and Rinpoche yongzi ling trichen do chang shere di mae she musi, and urayansi uler urayoba, and urayoba tondo masebe uratela, and targi jobenjida yoba, and to nin jeber das jeje musunal tinde sumyo ka tozo halebe gita keba tondo masebe trube kuma tombor shibe and tindegi yende chmuchi ta keje chiti tinde mal sum tondo masebe jamwe jawa shinobu mangso ki sumcho salya Chogye Trichen Rinpoche gi yongzin li Rinpoche jigje gi she
Later on, that Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche has repeatedly said to me and to many others that during the time when he was receiving the empowerment some years ago, from his memory, he says that he actually had the pure vision of seeing His Holiness Ling Rinpoche's face had turned into the face of buffalo, which is actually the face of the Yamantaka, as well as the buffalo that has actually the horns. And not only that, he could clearly see the colorful ribbons on as part of the crown. And and then later on, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche used to say how fortunate I was able to have this pure vision of seeing that. And then later on, even publicly, His Holiness Dalai Lama has also said, look, it is Chogye Trichen Rinpoche who during the empowerment of receiving Yamantaka actually had the pure vision of seeing His Holiness Ling Rinpoche in the actual form of Yamantaka. So such a kind of phenomena very much indicates, and it's a testament that how great beings, both the one who had the pure vision had, and also the object, His Holiness Ling Rinpoche, both might be. This kind of story is almost unbelievable thing, that actually His Holiness Chogye Trichen Rinpoche himself has shared this, and then His Holiness Dalai Lama has also publicly shared this phenomena. And so that proves how great masters of great standing they all must be. And we must remember this and reflect what it constitutes.
nenjo doyingi and lopchishuga chagi and today Rinpoche ningo shala che tsawa daga jechen gombal chipinamdo imatawara shpegdo and nge Rinpoche ya jechen gombal ya indar shi chiyunaya chale kudon kari nas nga kandi shubi nge kandi shubi today Rinpoche tungo kenze Rinpoche ya and ngari chim jangol ma zongba chim zebe ngari chimegi and shimung pyugiyos the pyuga pyugiyos but in this godo that the hallevan on the gevachre.
The second the thing I would like to share about Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche is connected with my own time in Kathmandu, where I went and requested to bestow upon me the Yoga Tantra empowerment of Vajradhatu. When I was receiving those empowerment, and then around lunch, after lunch time, each day, Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was leaving and going to the Shechen monastery. The Shechen monastery is the seat of His Holiness Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. And then one day I asked His Holiness Kyabje Chogye why he was going there every day. He said, "Oh, I'm giving this oral transmission, teaching transmission of the great works of Lamrim Chemo of Tsongkhapa to Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche." So this shows how great work of such great masters are. They're offering this kind of inter-traditional Tibetan lineage teachings from one master to another. This shows the great activity, Dharma activities of his Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's legacy.
Kan sungya je zongo bagi lamrim sungya ji da ngarim sa ji ni yoren ji de lamrim din dore ngarim di ngago korre judishi korre Kyabje Trichen Rinpoche and kan sungya di judishi korre ngarim chemu sungya imare ta sungya di Sakya lama ta unetane rigi jobe and 다진 도지 창을 rigi jobe dinde ji Sakya kiu thamba chimbuchi kan sungsa di nime lama kap tidugi ta mune doji chanda yer machi chi kiu thamba chi kan sungju di girubagi eni jermuchi ngari chimbuchi ta tidu mazar chimbu shore doas o ta mune sam shibachi ta ken shibachi ina ta mune risu machi be chöliya dana nubu ki kyapsaji mazar chimbu dinde redo wasamaji ngare ji jesu iranta tebepuno yaji otine chons.
When we consider this, what was really happening is the teaching, the subject matter of teaching given by Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was Lamrim and Ngagrim. The Lamrim Chemo is a sutric kind of graduated path, and Ngagrim Chemo concerns with all the four stages of the tantras. So in fact, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche was giving extensive teachings on the writings of Tsongkhapa on 4 classes of tantra. The person who's giving the teaching to is none other than the Vajradhara in human form in Nyingmapa tradition, Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. The giver of the teaching is the great Vajradhara himself as Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. And the subject matter is the writing works of a great founding master of the Gelugpa tradition, Lama Tsongkhapa. So when you look at this, it is incredibly wonderful and almost like there is no more wondrous than how closely connected and intertwined the Tibetan Buddhist tradition are. So this is like a jewel garlands of pure perceptions. It is always gives me a great sense of rejoice and gladness whenever I reflect on this kind of inter-Tibetan tradition teachings being handled by great likes of Kyabje Chogye Rinpoche and Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. So this shows the integral part of the Tibetan lineage teachings as being one and soul combined and intertwined together as one and only same teachings.
Tene tenze sumba chigriya. Jangol lama zonga wa chimbe tande shima tawe. Nga gi yudi shigi kadula. Nenjol gyugi. Yidambu tso. Dorjijin, dorin wachar datu. Deyin bari, dorin korti. Ka shibu chigi nga rin cheme nala. Nga jo chambu ze. Kate di shingi yana. Nenjol gyu yabu chigi shintu yo. Kate doyin korti yabu chigi shingi mewe na. Nenjol gyu yabu chigi shintu me dewa. Na tinde chigi zonga bagi nga jo chambu na shaya. Nga rin cheme gi dorin korti. And Chogye Trichen Rinpoche liya, Tulku liya, ti wang lu menga yonsu tsoba, nga wagi, Tulku kadi la tenne, eni kyangwa jawa ishi nobu la, ti doyingi wang dang, tizu menga tuzu papu na. Tila tenne, eni, chi tande, chi dansa sum, yuda nyi, rogi lu bagi, konde chaga mambu chigriya, eni nenjol gyugi, eni doyingi kogi, nyamba larsu toliya, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, zeje lana mebachi, zede yewa, ti ngonza chimbo shibuji chumachi, ngare ngonzi shibuya.
So then the third main point I can share you to reflect on is the great teachings and writings in the graduated the stages of the Mantrayana, Ngagrem Chemo, the subject matter of which is 4 classes of Tantra, in which the great Tsongkhapa has made a great praise about the importance of for the Yoga Tantra tradition. One must study in depth the teachings of the Vajradhatu. Vajradhatu Mandala teachings are taught very clearly in the Ngagrem Chemo as the most important, because if you don't understand the Vajradhatu Mandala teachings, you wouldn't really have any clue what constitute the Yoga Tantra teachings. So as Tsongkhapa has greatly praised and spoken highly importance of becoming familiar with the teachings of Yoga Tantra tradition, particularly with the Vajradhatu, then it is through Chogye Trichen Rinpoche who offered the empowerment, instructions, and the oral transmissions of the Vajradhatu Mandala to His Holiness none other than Dalai Lama. As a result of that transmission and connection, now that very Vajradhatu Mandala practices of the Yoga Tantra tradition has greatly spread in the 3 great seats of the Gelugpa tradition, the Sera and Drepung Ganden, as well as Gyuto and Gyume. So through this you can see the very spread and flourish of the Vajradhatu practice could not have happened had it not been the very great confluence of the teachings of the tantric practice that Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche availed. So this shows the great role and legacy of what Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche played in the flourishing of the Vajradhatu Mandala in the Gelugpa tradition. This alone is a great cause of joy and gratitude for all us to remember.
Ngarang geri rab cha shawina ngarang ame gebe gangya ta dosti khije losung kabla and Chogye Trichen doji chang ngare nang ya chiju nanje bugu dirik sambudu sangra ya bu chös cheje amala sumba yin sumbudu keranga amala la yetinde lavindas otinde sumbudu kap tidune tu zewe jesu bachi gimbache tene chulu chidungu janga junga gu kabliya Hembona lentane, and Namsoka Jhado Gombalia, Chana Chigunanje, Daina dus deamidua, and Yawashi Novian, Bedita, Hasal Shuden Jamatu Cheje, Changeol Chigu Nansona, that dus Robert das Lamde Yonso, Nanje, Rumbuche Tuji, Gadin Yachil Tene, Robe Puchi, and that Rumbuche Chipsha Neche, P. Lomena Neche, and P. Gune, Yahale. Lobjonche, the Shenjar, to get the Yons over, Rinpoche the Lamdeone, Chundevichi, but in the years.
And the 4th one is very personal. this is to do with myself. When I was merely a small toddler, 3-year-old, who totally depended on being carried on the back of his mother, at that time, Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche visited in my home region, and he came visited my home, and then citing me, he told to my mother, now this boy is very special, you must look after him, keep him clean, and look after him very well. So even from that very early age, he has cited me with great compassion and guided me in many different ways. And then in 1959, when the big political turmoil happened in Tibet, on his way to escape from Pembo Nalanda to Mustang, he deliberately came all the way to Namso and then come to my monastery and saying that now you too must leave, you can't stay here. His Holiness Dalai Lama has already escaped in exile. There is nowhere but to follow me. So then he guided me like his own child and showed me, brought me to in safety by escaping on the route through Mustang. I'm just like a small boy of the nomadic camp. He safely brought me like in his great care through Nepal, and then through that I was able to reach in safety, and then subsequently I was able to receive all the education and training. And so where I could today stand on my feet as I am is none other than an immeasurable kindness and guidance that I was able to relish through the very great kind care of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So this is something that I always reflect, how his kindness is indeed immeasurable to my personal life situation.
Mustang to do a lot of it. In Dichi Kabla di Mongol Puchunjundi, Lama Chunjundi, Mongol Gishetangure, Umajubusim Yagres Cheje, to do ne Umajubusimyada, Gishetayada, to Zogangalamde, Kap to do the Nas. And not lot doing Kablia. Jama Kingo Shingure, Kingo Tig Nelakusunde, Kingo Tilam Nas. The poor lot doing Chingilia, Jama Kingo Jangoya, Sida Lengenji Nguyoji, Gonji, Kingo Tiglam Naya, Gishetango Sunya. Tezokanga Mount Lundera, Cheche, Mushe Tome, Masum Dever Nyamuzi Shui. That yes, given to Zemindula, and should I say came into that peasants of Tinachi, English, Jima, Jeshe Telia, and Lamchudalag, the Robana, indicator, Hajuna, we say to the chest shy, Tangaki dead and shy.
So in this way, when I was 6 years old, when that was in Mustang, when we reached Mustang, I was only 6 years old. But even then, he was so certain that, oh, now you have to become a geshe one day. So therefore, you must start memorizing Madhyamika Avatara. That's Chandrakirti's root text on the middle way. And he made me to go and try to memorize that text even at that age. And then when I was 7 years old, he says, oh, now you will have to do lots of things with mandala and tantra. So I will teach you how to draw mandalas. He was almost teaching me how to map out the lining and measurement and all the proportion of mandala at that time. And he was so certain that you have to become a geshe, you have to do. So he almost looks like he has all foresaw. All of my future was there as to become a geshe, having to study all these roles and tantric traditions, so on. So you can see that that Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche foresaw everything, including small snippets on my life. They were all revelations that he knew right from the very beginning what was destiny that lie in my life. So in this way, these are the few points that I thought was worthy of sharing in part of commemorating the enlightened activities of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So I think I would like to conclude my contribution here today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this, and also thank the translator for making my expression known in the English-speaking ears. Thank you very much.
Jamyang Luru Sando Kumpanche, Nyegan to Derin Bechi, Lasun Jansen Zumba Nagawa, Carol Lexi Jamdo Soa de Sun Lamesun de Chi, and the Shatena Yor, Ting and Demi, Tuchena, and Gonzo Yang Dindichi, Zawo Tsuna Materia, we say Tuchesha.
I have just said a one verse prayer out of the supplication to Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche's Guru Yoga, which he will be chanted later on. So I always do my part of my Guru Yoga, and so it has been, having kept up the celebration of the anniversaries for every year like this, I rejoice, and this kind of good activity should be maintained. And so with this, I urge you all to keep up your devotional practices. With this, I will conclude here. Thank you very much, Your Eminence. So that was very moving story. And now we will invite the monks from Chamchen school. This is His Eminence Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche Monastery in Chamchen, Lakang, has a school, and some of the monks there are going to chant the very supplication to the Guru, written by none other than His Holiness 41st Sakya Trizin, Kongma Trichen now. And so we will do the chanting. We will listen to the chanting as a meditation, keeping on top of crown the Guru in form of Vajradhara, and try to pray and supplicate as deeply as you can. So as Rinpoche just urged you, this is why it's very important we reflect on the blessings of the Guru, none other than the triple gem, in the likes of the embodiment Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So these are blessed words written by His Holiness Sakya Kongma Trichen. So we will listen this to the monks chanting.
Lasa, sing it well.
거기도
Lasa,
Oh, Tujiche,
That's all.
Tujiche, so now we have two items coming one after another. The first is devotional chanting by Byoma Kusuma Sangha of Kathmandu. But before that, I will do a short introduction to our next speaker, that is Shri Rana Rinpoche, who is first time we are having him on our audience, and so therefore I need to really give a short introduction, and then after that the Sangha will do the chanting, followed by Rana Rinpoche's talk. Sri Rana Rinpoche is born in Nepal and began his normal education, and then he had a very strong spiritual urge pursuits in early life, exploring Hindu tantra, because that's that he was born and bred in, under the guidance of his own grand uncle, also with other Vedantic master. However, eventually through Zen, interest in Zen, and not being able to having great access to the Zen masters in Nepal, he then met Tibetan Buddhist teachers. Particularly in 1987, he first met the first Vajrayana master, Ugyen Tulku Rinpoche, who is considered to be among the greatest modern Dzogchen masters, who is father of Chogye Rinpoche and many, half a dozen, if I'm not wrong. So he has many sons who are all very towering lineage holders of the Nyingma tradition. And Rana Rinpoche then in 1996, he received many empowerment and teaching from Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. And then he went in very long retreat, 6.5 years of solitary meditation retreat. After completing that 6.5 meditation retreat, Chogye Trichen Rinpoche bestowed upon Shri Rana Rinpoche the title of Rinpoche. Usually the Rinpoche is a title not given like that. It's only given when someone is recognized. As a young boy like Jhado Tulku Rinpoche, when they are recognized young, then get title. Not on so, but someone like Rana Rinpoche, through his own gift of spirituality, coming from a very non-Buddhist background and showing great interest and meeting Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, just took off from there, from his spiritual practices. And then he went on, continued more retreat, about 10 years retreat. And then again, that time, Kyabje Chogye Rinpoche bestowed upon him the title Mahayogi, the great yogi. And so in this way, Shri Rana Rinpoche is now considered as a most prominent converted Buddhist. Not many Hindus are easy to convert, they're very hard-nosed, But Rana Rinpoche had the very reason. He was dissatisfied with all the other kind of versions of spirituality, but for some reason, Buddhism and the Tibetan teachers that he met made it for him. So he's now in his own right great Buddhist teacher, many disciples and many centers. So we're very honored to have Shri Rana Rinpoche to speak us. But before doing that, his Sangha will do a chanting. So over to you, to the group who are ready to do the chanting.
Is it working? Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear us. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Homage to all Rinpoches like His Holiness Sakya Trizin Rinpoche, His Holiness 42nd Sakya Trizin Rinpoche, His Eminence Kundung Rinpoche, His Eminence Jhado Tulku Rinpoche, His Eminence Deshung Rinpoche, His Eminence 27th Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, and our Mahayogi Shri Rana Rinpoche, and other all venerable Rinpoches and Khenpos and Lamas and Buddhist scholars and ladies and gentlemen. It's very indeed a great honor to participate in this very auspicious program of celebrating the 15th anniversary of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. So here we are now chanting a short Sanskrit prayers in relation to this auspicious event. These prayers start with Sanskrit original refuge and Bodhicitta prayer supposed to be written by Lord Atisha. Then 4 immeasurables in Sanskrit that we have translated it into Sanskrit. Then a short mandala offering to 4 Ratnas in original Sanskrit found to be written by Acharya Anupama Vajra in early 10th century, which is being regularly chanted by Kathmandu Newar Vajrayani followers till today. And then the original Sanskrit of the Guru prayer, Gangi Dingi, which is very famous in Tibetan for Guru Yoga. Then original Sanskrit of Lama Sangye prayer. And then finally the Sanskrit translation of the prayer for calling Guru for 4-fold blessings, which is recited in most of the Guru Yoga practices in Sakya and Nyingma and Kagyu tradition also. So with your kind permission, we will now start chanting the shlokas in honor of our beloved and highly respected Guru Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. Buddham cha dharmam cha ganottamam cha yavadhi bodhim saranam gatosmi दानादिपुण्यैश्च कृतैर्मयैर्बुद्धो भवेयं जगतो हिताय बुद्धं च धर्मं च गणोत्तमं च यावद्धि बोधिं शरणं गतोऽस्मि दानादिपुण्यैश्च कृतैर्मयैर्बुद्धो भवेयं जगतो हिताय बुद्धं च धर्मं च गणोत्तमं च यावद्धि बोधिं शरणं गतोऽस्मि दानादिपुण्यैश्च कृतैर्मयैर्बुद्धो भवेयं जगतो हिताय सर्वे सत्त्वाः सत्त्वैश्चैव युक्ताः स्युः सुखकारणैः भवन्तु सततं मुक्ता दुःखाच्च दुःखकारणात् कदापि वञ्चिता न स्युर्दुःखहीनमहासुखात् दूरादूरद्वेषराग मुक्तोपेक्षा स्थिता हि स्युः चतुरत्नमयं मेरुम् अष्टशृङ्गोपशोभितं नानारत्नसमाकीर्णं तद्येनुत्तरदायिनः गुरुभ्यो बुद्धधर्मेभ्यः संघेभ्यश्च तथैव च निर्यातयामि भावेन सम्पूर्णं रत्नमण्डलम् महासुखपदं यस्य कृपया लभ्यते क्षणात् रत्नोपमगुरोर्वन्दे वज्रिणश्चरणाम्बुजम् गुरुर्बुद्धो गुरुर्धर्मो गुरुः सङ्गस्तथैव च गुरुर्वज्रधरः श्रीमान् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः महासुखपदं यस्य कृपया लभ्यते क्षणात् रत्नोपमगुरोर्वन्दे वज्रिणश्चरणाम्बुजम् गुरुर्बुद्धो गुरुर्धर्मो गुरुः सङ्गस्तथैव च गुरुर्वज्रधरः श्रीमान् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः महासुखपदं यस्य कृपया लभ्यते क्षणात् रत्नोपमगुरोर्वन्दे वज्रिणश्चरणाम्बुजम् गुरुर्बुद्धो गुरुर्धर्मो गुरुः सङ्गस्तथैव च गुरुर्वज्रधरः श्रीमान् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मतिं मे धर्म आनेतुम् अधिष्ठानं ददातु मे धर्मं मार्गत्वमानेतुम् अधिष्ठानं ददातु मे मार्गे भ्रान्तिनिवारार्थम्
अधिष्ठानं ददातु मे भ्रान्तिर्धर्मधातुबोधा वधिष्ठानं ददातु मे मार्गे भ्रान्तिनिवारार्थम् अधिष्ठानं ददातु मे भ्रान्तिर्धर्मधातुबोधा वधिष्ठानं ददातु मे. Om Swasti.
Thank you. Over to you, Shri Rana Rinpoche. Nice to see you. Over to you, Rana Rinpoche. Your mic is off. Yeah. Your mic is off, I can. Narayanji, your mic was working before, so hello?
Okay. You can hear me now.
Yeah, yes.
Bitte bana gel. Kina hadi. Okay. Sorry for the delay.
The
Okay.
other device in the room has to be off, otherwise it will echo.
Bana gel. Okay. Now it's clear? Right.
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear you.
sorry.
Rana. How are you?
Triratna Saranam Namo Amitabhaya, prostrations to His Holiness the Sakya Trizin and the Sakya Trichen. And Tasi, thank you very much to Lama Chogye Rinpoche and Tasi Dele, to all of you. I've been asked to speak about my interactions, my devotional relationship with the Vajradhar, His Eminence Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. In short, the only word I can call up is magical. I met His Eminence the Vajradhar in June 1987 after having met Urgyen Rinpoche, as Lama Chogye Rinpoche told you. And I used to go to the White Gomba because that was Urgyen Rinpoche's monastery. And after some time, I noticed a gate on the left side of the Buddha stupa. And I was wondering, who is the Rinpoche here? So one day I decided to go in, and I went in, and at the bottom of the staircase, I met a little Lama. And I asked him, who is the Rinpoche up there? And he spoke in Tibetan, which I didn't understand. And I said, can I go up in Nepali? And he said, Hunsa, yes, you can go up. So I walked up, and then I entered the room, and there he was. And it was like he was waiting for me. There was nobody else except one household non-monk. I don't remember him right now. It could be Lama Tsodrak's brother or Jigme, the Prince of Mustang. And I introduced myself. And then Rinpoche spoke to me in Tibetan. So I told the man there, I don't understand Tibetan. And he said, he's speaking in Nepali to you. So I didn't understand his Nepali at all, you know. And I was like flabbergasted just by his presence. And then I kept on meeting him. I realized that that day was magical because it was not so easy to meet him. And you had to go through a series of lamas before you enter even his door, you know. The hallway, everything was open, and I just walked in, casually like walking in the street. So that was magical the first day. Then after that, in 1989, I came back from Delhi, where I was helping Shama Rinpoche to inaugurate his monastery. And then I went to meet him in June 1989. And I met him, and that day he told me, from tomorrow there's Lamdre, you come. I didn't know what Lamdre was. I had no the slightest idea what Lamdre was, but I came, I went. And for 1.5 months, he gave the entire Lopse Lamdre, and he asked Cyrus to translate many important points so that I could understand it. And he told Cyrus to give me the Hevatra Sadhana and then a Lamdre text from Singapore. And I was completely flabbergasted by the whole Lamdre thing, even though I didn't understand half of what was going on. After the Hevatra Wang, for 15 days, I was in a dream state. When I went to a store to buy things, a hand would reach out, I'd see a blue hand going out. You know, I was like transported into another world for 15 days. And then I went back to Rinpoche after the Lamdre was finished. And I said, I've got all your teachings. You've given me the books. I've read them. I've understood them. Please give me permission to go to the Himalayas to meditate. And he laughed and said, no, you don't go there. You stay here and teach. So I said, okay. But I still wanted to go into retreat, you know. And In 1990, I was attending the Chogling Tersar given by Chogye Rinpoche. That was a 3.5 month Wangs, series of Wangs. And almost at the end of it, there were like hardly 15 days left. Suddenly, Punya Parajoli came and told me His Eminence is giving the Vajra Yogini 11 Yoga. So then I was really pulled two ways. This was almost finished, just 15 days left, and he was already giving it the next day. And I was really stressed out. And I didn't know what to do. And I went the day, the Rinpoche was supposed to start it at 3 o'clock in the evening, the Vajra Yogini Wang. And I thought I'd stay up till the lunch period here, then go there. And at the end of the lunch, just before the lunch period, Chogye Rinpoche announced there will be a 15 days gap. That was magical. And then, but then he continued giving lectures and whatnot, and I had to wait there. I mean, it would be a bit rude to walk out of there. And it was already 4 o'clock. And his Punya had told me that he would start the Wang at 3 o'clock. So I was very disheartened, and I thought it was just too late, what to do. And so I went on my motorbike up to Tusal. But then something pulled me very strong. I could feel it. So I said, okay, I'm going back. If he has already started the Wang, I'll go back. Otherwise, I'll stay. And I rushed back, and somewhere like 4:45, I rushed into the room, and I asked Punya, has Rinpoche already started the Wang? He said, no, he's just been telling stories, and he just started when you came. So again, it was magical, completely magical. And then in In 1996, I finally decided, even if I don't go to the Himalayas, I should stay in some retreat at least. So I went to Rinpoche and said, please permit me to stay in at least 2 Losum Dasum, 7 years, in my home. And he agreed, and I was so happy. And then he came, he was so kind. I know how busy he was. He was so kind to come almost every 4 or 5 months to meet me whenever I requested him to come. Not only that, when my consort, Niru, Rana, used to go to him to ask questions that I need to ask, Rinpoche, as His Holiness Sakya Trizin Rinpoche said, usually practices the whole day. And he comes out for lunch and stays usually up to 2 o'clock, and my consort had to work in a hotel. So she was not free. And she would usually reach there 4 o'clock. Rinpoche would be waiting there. Every time this happened, not once, not twice. And even the attendant lamas saw this thing happening, and he told my consort Niru, oh, you were coming. That's why Rinpoche seems to be waiting here, has gone in. So these kind of things just kept on continuously happening. And then we wanted him to come and consecrate this building where I'm talking from, the monastery. So he agreed. And then on the same day, little after, we had requested Chogye Rinpoche, Chogling Rinpoche, all requested him to go to Phakchok Rinpoche's enthronement. And he refused to go. He said, I have to go to Rana. And finally, Chogye Rinpoche rang up Niru, my consort, and we said, yes, Rinpoche, of course, he has to go to your place, not our place. So Niru requested Rinpoche, please go to the Phakchok Rinpoche's enthronement first, and we can do it some other day. But he went there, stayed just 1 hour or something, and then rushed back here, and inaugurated, did the Bhumi Puja the consecration puja for us. So I feel so much gratitude the way he treated me. And whenever he came, he was always very kind to me, very gentle, very kind. I knew that he was like Marpa, a very wrathful man. But with me, he was always very kind, very gentle. And the last time he came here, before his parinirvan, he took my hand and put it on his cheeks for a long time. I can never forget that. And the last time he came, when he entered my room, retreat room, he waited at the door and he said, I feel like I'm entering the cave of an ancient Indian master. That was the greatest attribute that he could give me. I'm sorry if I'm weep so much. So this is how many times he showed great compassion towards me. Thank you very much. Also, like when my wife Niru used to go to him to ask questions, he would always say, how's Rana? He would always ask, how's Rana? The first thing. Then ask her, how are you? So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lama Chodak Rinpoche, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Sri Dada Rana Rinpoche, for sharing your most moving, inspiring story to us today. And that is the very reason why we are having these celebrations, so that students like yourself, who had a life experience of being touched and being taught and being kindly treated, not only giving the teachings, but in the way that you felt how a great master actually totally give themselves at the behest of the disciples. So you're very fortunate among us to have that. And now the next item is it's a call for articles for the biography project I have. So we'll do a short screen share. I think if Natalie can put that one. This is a special biography of Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche I'm putting together. The biography of Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, there's already one written by David Jackson called Lama of Lamas, very big 2 volumes, very, very well researched, and academically you couldn't really match any work like that. But I thought I could write a biography that is slightly coming from a different direction, and my biography is called Gift of Lotus. Gift of Lotus is translation of the word Nalanda. The word Nalanda really means it's a gift of lotus, or what we call in Tibetan Dambujin. Dambujin means that which came from the mud, because lotus grows also in the mud. So in Tibetan, this name was derived into Nalendra, and Rongten found the monastery in Tibet and named after Nalanda and called Nalendra. So since we can see that the Nalanda tradition, which His Holiness Dalai Lama has been talking a lot about, promoting the Indian Buddhist culture and propagating the 17 Nalanda Panditas, Rongten Shege Kunik was most celebrated Tibetan 15th century scholar who has written commentaries on all major Nalanda Panditas' works, and therefore Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, being the abbot of that monastery from many of his predecessors till himself. So I thought the title of the book will be called Gift of Lotus. So what I'm requesting everybody is that the book will have 3 parts: biography and the teaching. This first 2 part, biography and teaching, has already been nearly finished. The part 3 is the memories of disciples, like we just heard from His Eminence Jhado Rinpoche and Rana Rinpoche, both of who shared very personal stories. I'm asking anyone who has met Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche to write at least 500 words or thereabout, telling your personal stories, and where, when, with whom you have received empowerment, what interaction you had. Even like I remember His Eminence Chogye Trichen, like giving his own food, tsampa, bowl of tsampa that he's eating, he would really cut, then give me to me. And that kind of experience is very, very valuable to be put in the biography. So I wanted to approach this biography containing many students, families, relatives, others who have any memories. Instead of those memories being forgotten, please put them together in words and send it to me, to my email, lamachodak@hotmail.com. You can see. And this is the 15th August is the deadline, because I wanted to compile all those together to hopefully to be able to publish by next anniversary. This will be a totally different kind of biography, because all the biographies can be quite repetitive, but we need to really have a lot of personal stories, like moving stories we have today. So if anyone out there, and maybe you can share this to other people who have connection with Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, whether you can write in Tibetan or Nepalese or English, send them to me and I will compile them together. And I guarantee you will get a copy of the book free after everything is put together. So with that, that's just a special request to you all. Now, in order to refresh everyone's memory and visually, we have put together a number of photos of His Eminence Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, which my niece has put together. So we'll screen that it only goes for a few minutes, but very nice photos. So sit back and rejoice, see some of these photos, and then we have not long to go. We will have a final prayer to finish it off. Shall we do the next prayer first? Okay, since we are having a bit of technical hitch there, we will now request the monks of Pematsal Monastic College in Pokhara to lead us the prayer for the happiness of all living beings. And we will do the screen share of that prayer for you so that all of you can join. This is actually the dedication of this whole celebration today. So after that finishes, if the video is working, we will screen that. If not, we might have to. Yeah, we've got it now. Yeah, then start now. I think we have got it. We have restored it. So.
Hello.
Google, jenama guna nganzo de part the dixo. Thank you, Norsan. My very young niece, she put that together in a very short notice. Now we have the privilege to get the monks from the Pematsal Monastic College in Pokhara, who are going to lead us in the prayer for the happiness of all living beings. We had the amazing opportunity to hear His Holiness, His Eminence Jhado Rinpoche, and Shri Rana Rinpoche's moving story, as well as all the chantings done by everyone. So here, with this, dedicating the merit for us to be able to continue the noble wishes of our gurus, and the prayers will be chanted by those monks, and we will screen share it to you. So please stay a few more minutes to finish it off. Thank you very much, everyone.
또 라마라 깨고도
Good.
다른 주로 니도 이십대일로 나와니 비기 테실라 다랑도 저기 대워치 버쪽에 티제 정부지 쪽이 공소 뒤에 소비 주의 깜짝을 비트는 캐버진데 저기 보면 사제 티제 정부지 우슈토 대신 저도 두고 초다 시라나다 시 나라라나 정부지 초성기 집이 기후신이 담바 이니마 로자와 캐바 라마처라던 대신 근데가게 라마 두고 기딘바다 다음에 유튜브나 유비 Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche Choy Loma Yong La Pa Sagi Pime Tsa Tsula Lomni Khan Diji Ki Tsab Shi De Tsamdi Dan Tha Chashi Dele Shu Thare Khonso Tisan Kheba Chen Tan Tab Din Ne Deso Dola Digi Dunju Ki Goga Na Wala Katin Che Shinpoche Shu. To this great master of both Tantra Yana and Mahayana Vajradhara Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, to your holy feet on behalf of all devotees, we offer our prostration from the depth of our body, mind, and speech. While commemorating this very important event, we are blessed by the presence of His Holiness the Sakya Trizin Rinpoche, as well as Jhado Rinpoche and Vajradhara Rana Rinpoche and Lama Chera. Also by the Sangha member from the overseas behalf of Pematsal family members. We thank you all for giving us this auspicious opportunity to show our sincere gratitude and offer our prayer in the memory of this great master.
Thank you very much, all the monks from Pema Tsal, and very nice greetings to you all, to Kempo Kongala and everyone. Thank you for participating. Now I will pass over to our committee member, Sonam Nurbula, to do a word of thanks to finish. You have to unmute yourself.
I will. Hello. Greetings, everyone, and Tashi Dele. My name is Sonam. Nice. Naimingla Sonamze from Australia, a relatively new member of the Canberra Tibetan Buddhist Society, the Sakya Losha Chodong. I humbly wish to give a vote of thanks to everyone who played a part, however small or large, in making this special event possible. I personally was deeply moved by the exemplar of all the panditas in this one great person who affected so many emotionally and spiritually. And I'm very grateful to have heard about him, and I didn't meet him in this life. I honor the Triple Gem, the many lineages, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness Sakya Chogye Trichen, and His Holiness 42nd Sakya Kyabje Trizhen, and of course Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, whom we celebrate together. Tashi Delek and Pukteche to Your Holiness Sakya Trizhen, Your Eminence Jhado Tulku Rinpoche, and Siddha Rana Rinpoche, who were our speakers at this wonderful celebration. I would also like to give a vote of gratitude to all of the International Sangha and nuns from Lexi Troli Nangri, monks of the Jamten Monastery, and the Byokyasuma Sangha in Nepal, and the Pema Tsal Monastic College in Pokhara, and all the Australian Sakya Sangha members who joined with us in this evening, afternoon, morning, and other times of the day. Thank you for making your time available at many different times of the day to make this very special event so inclusive. Finally, a special Supplication to Lama Chodye Rinpoche, who I just want to do something quickly, and this won't take a second, but you'll see why in a second. Rinpoche, Chodye Rinpoche, for his tireless arranging and hosting this celebration of Guru Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche. One of the things I missed and I really liked at my first time I met someone was the white scarf gift. So for you, Rinpoche, and for everybody else, a white scarf. And thank you very, very, very much. Wish you all happiness and the cause of happiness. And I've been asked to gently remind you all to send articles and stories for the Biography Project Nalanda, the gift of the lotus, to Lama Chodye Rinpoche through the email address that we'll give out to you. Thank you so very much. Tashi Dile.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, everyone. Especially thank you to Jhado Rinpoche, Rinpoche Kutse Shapeten, Tukjeche, and all the sanghas from everywhere, and Rana Rinpoche, as well as every individuals who have joined. I could also see Mr. Kama Singala, who's a representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama here in Australia. Kongola Tukjeche, Nyamshu Nangbala. So thank you very much, everyone. This is what, at least in this pandemic era, we can do, make best of the time that we are all facing. The world is an amazingly difficult time. And if we don't have our spiritual practices keep us connected, we have many reasons to suffer hell on earth. So therefore, Dharma is the very important thing to keep us all stay very connected. And we offer our prayers for the long life and fulfillment of His Holiness Dalai Lama, whose amazing kind of noble example in the world has made all the Tibetan people otherwise dispersed like ants who have lost their nest and have nowhere to go. But because of His Holiness' amazing leadership, we have found homes where Dharma is received very well. We are finding some kind of hope in our heart because we had the most precious one that never can be robbed or destroyed by anyone whatsoever, but always remains true to our heart. And this actually happens as a result of unbroken lineage of our great master like Kyabje Chogye Trichen Rinpoche, who has blessed many of us in our lives many different ways. So we have very strong reason to stay connected and request teachers like Jhado Rinpoche, who is really amazing example I know from my own kind of from distant perspective how much I have reason to lose no hope in our younger generation, because Jhado Rinpoche was barely born in Tibet when he escaped, but now he's fully fledged, trained, and to step in. And I'm sure he's not very far from being candidate at Ganden Tripa, but I don't think he need to do that. He's doing much more work while he's still young, because when you become Ganden Tripa, you get too old. You can't do much. so Rinpoche, please, we would like to extend you a special invitation to here in Australia, and please put us in our diary, and we will haunt you. Thank you very much, everybody. So that's all. Thank you for all of your time and commitment to making this evening such a memorable event. Bye, everybody. Thank you.